Welcome to my Moon Knight episode 5 watch along party, guys. As you know, we've been watching this Moon Knight series, and things have just gotten really crazy last episode where he woke up in an asylum of some kind. We saw a hippo monster, which I was told was a toy that was in the gift shop in episode 1 of some kind. I don't know how this is going to play out. As you know, I can't show you the entire episode here, but don't worry, I'll use my little tips and tricks to let you know where I'm at in the episode. And if you have seen it and join me in live chat, I would love to talk to you about this episode. As we're wrapping up here, this is the second last episode. We know that it's 6 episodes, so I'm expecting to get some answers here as to what's going on in this episode. I'll do my best to share the tips and tricks with you guys about where I am at. I can't show you the entire image, but I'll show you as much as I can. We just finished the opening credits there. And just a flashback of some kind. Just make sure everything's working here. What the heck? Okay. Okay, so Ethan Hawke, Harrow, is going to try to convince him that what he's seeing is not real, but it's fairly obvious that if you look at the background there, those walls, this is all in his head. This part is all in his head. And I theorized last episode that I theorize that this is where his brain goes, and this is how his brain separated into different personalities.
Let's start with you. Let's try it your way. Reach. But it talked.
A talking hippo. It's nonsense. Has to be. Yeah, he says nonsense.
Different aspects of the self from our most traumatic.
Okay, so that's exactly what I was theorizing what this place is. Now, this episode is called The Asylum, so I'm guessing we're going to get a whole episode here? The hippopotamus. I think the hippo is his mother, is a representation of his mother, is what I'm guessing.
Remember that boy? You think you could tell me about that little boy?
Which is him, right? As a young man. That's what I'm guessing. Hey, James, this dialogue is nuts, but the great... Oh, yeah, definitely, for sure, the acting.
Channel with everything. Listen, I am not your enemy.
Okay, so he just got drugged, and now he's back in the hallway screaming about this hippo. That voice.
So, are you two like twins?
So that female voice was the voice of the hippo. He's dead. Well, yes, because he was shot. Harrow shot him last time. Like, it looks...
Welcome, gentle traveler.
So, when it cleared its throat, it actually did sound like an animal. Okay.
Right. So this...
Apparently, I heard Oscar Isaac asked his brother, his true life brother, to be his stand-in here. So, as always, guys, I'll try to do my best to save the audio and the video clips for towards the end. I'll just kind of commentate as to what's happening. Okay, so she's saying that a psych ward is a new place for her.
Bird, you're outside of my body now.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I had suspected. That this is his brain. That's not what's on the other side of the door. They're traveling the dunes on a boat of some kind. What is that, guys? The underworld. He's dead. So you want to go to the field of reeds. She's reaching inside them, pulling out their hearts. She was worried that she would just hurt them somehow.
On the scales of justice.
Okay, so she's going to weigh the hearts. And that's very symbolic of what Harrow was doing, right? Yeah, it's boats heading to Duat, the final resting place. But they have to face judgment first, right? Kill the hippo and steal the boat? Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Oh.
I do not have a card for this. So she's just saying that because their hearts are unbalanced, they'll get stuck in purgatory there.
So she's saying use the boat that's kind of like a mirror of your soul. Come at peace with yourself. So they go back into the asylum, which is the name of the episode. I see what's happening. But we've gone a long while without seeing the actual suit in this series because he lost it last episode. So guys, we're 11 minutes and 35 seconds in. Just about half an hour to go. And they're seeing some weird stuff in this place. There's the image of the skies moving that we saw before. It's not. It's somebody else. It's the third personality, right, Jake?
No, it's a street. You know, how many streets have you walked down your whole life?
They're going to realize that there's a third person there with them. Because people have been speculating that there's been that third personality, Jake, that I wrote down here in my notes, the cab driver, and we still have yet to see that come into fruition.
Whose room this is?
Yours.
Funny.
Ooh. They are like zombies. That's kind of creepy, isn't it? Oh, and there's the scales of justice again, with different hearts. People have city names. Yeah. Yeah, I thought Jake would balance the scales, filling the void in the other's hearts, Glass Viking says in the live chat. So he's talking about people, Mark is talking about people that he's killed, and that's what's in this room.
What do we do? You go next, or who's that?
So as he makes peace with the guilt of killing these people, the scale was balancing. I like that. I like that metaphorically.
Wait a moment. Wait a moment.
So now they're chasing after that little boy. And Steven got locked in a room with him.
Mom?
Mark. Mark is his brother? That's his old man?
Keep an eye on your brother. Okay.
So Mark has to look after Steven? He doesn't remember Mark as his brother? This is a bit of a revelation, right?
I sure do, Rosa.
So he's fantasizing Stephen Grant in his head, even when he's that young. Is he remembering where his trauma comes from? And I'm guessing Mark is going to die
And that'll be like the first split. Oh, look at that. We see bones on the ground that resemble Khonshu. Now they're going into a cave. It has some water damage. So I'm guessing that the cave, that one of them gets their foot stuck or something and the cave fills up with water. That's got to be like one of the worst ways to go. But he seems to be remembering it. There's the room with the mother, right? Or is that was that the wife? I didn't. It was a little bit fast there. Yeah, but they need to do this to make peace with themselves, right? So that the scales will balance. Actually, I'm really liking this as a metaphor and how they can go into different rooms or different memories. That's smart writing. I like that. So I don't know. Is that the mother or is that the? It's definitely. Is this in Egypt? It looks like that was his dad.
I want my Roro back.
So Roro was the brother. Roro was the brother, and he died. And oh, okay, I see what's going on. Roro is the actual name. Dr. Stephen Grant is the manufactured person up in his brain that he made up. So he took on that persona. And wow.
This is all your fault!
You can't say that to your son.
Go up there!
Yeah. Like you mentioned acting before in the live chat there, our Glass Vikings, and this one definitely. Michael Kelly in the live chat says, hey man, how's it going? Just gotta grab a pen here. I want to take some notes. Roro. Our Glass Vikings in the live chat says Mark was the eldest brother. The younger died, and the trauma created Stephen. Yes, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm reading from the situation. So at least the father is treating him with respect, but the mother, oh. But it looks like the mother's hitting the bottle pretty hard. So she's not taking it well. Well, no one can take that really well. That's awful. And he called her mom there, so all right. But they keep on going into these doors within the house. But it is what she was like. So he's trying to run away. Why is Mark fighting against this memory so much? Is it because... Is this when they... Harrow was Conchu, and this is when they got switched over? Okay, so they're talking about him working as a mercenary, his background. Wow, that's 22 minutes already. That was a quick 10 minutes, eh, guys? So he's pointing to something. He said, "What's happening to you?" Let's see it. And they're walking into the temple. And I'm guessing this is where they find Conchu, right? Or they see the scene where Conchu leaves Harrow. Okay, so somebody's crawling on the ground there. Okay, so this is when Stephen got shot. He was left for dead by Harrow. They said that, right? And he's gonna off himself to do himself in because he figures he's been shot, so he's dying, right? Our Glass Vikings in live chat says Mark kept Stephen away from trauma as part of an escape mechanism. He didn't want to corrupt Stephen's soul with a bad memory, maybe. So this is when Conchu, yeah.
I am the god Conchu.
Okay. But I thought Conchu was inside Harrow first.
Or do you want life?
Okay, so Conchu likes the fact that he was willing to off himself, right?
And bring my vengeance to those who would do them harm.
So, well, he had to take Conchu's offer, otherwise he was dead. But he's... Yeah. So Conchu's reiterating his offer. And he said, yes, look. No. They're looking at the scales. Okay. And that's when he gets the costume. That looks cool.
Baboons?
Heard some monkeys in the background. Oh, there's the hippo again. Okay, so she's saying that uncondemned souls are being judged in the real world before their time, which is probably what Emmett was going to be doing, right? When Haro got control of her. So now they're asking to be back with Khonshu. And that's 28 minutes and 24. So she's changing the course of the ship, turning it back. And she's telling them to go back inside to balance the scales. Interesting shot. Haro is judging the souls now and sending them down before they're due. Yeah, okay. As the vessel of Ammit, though, right? Is that...
Go there again. It's not worth it.
So the mother was doing something weird to them? Were they getting abused in that room is what I'm guessing? And yeah, we don't need to see that. Just suggest that that was happening. Wow. Okay, so he was freaking out there, and then he got fractured again, and now he's back with the psychiatrist Haro.
You watch too many movies, all right?
Okay. Ethan Hawke has been really good in this, and it's these two kind of jousting with each other that I would put up as saying as a selling point to the series. Okay, so they're talking about the mother there. Yeah, okay, so I'm guessing that he was abused somehow in that room. Tortured, maybe. Because the mother held him responsible for the brother dying, right? Okay, we're back with the young kid in that room. And he's standing in there. Okay, so I'm guessing the mother gets drunk and hurts him, right? Ooh. We saw that kid's eyes, they rolled back in his head. So this is what fractured his mind, right? Getting abused. We saw him flip there, and now he's changed into a different person. So Stephen Grant was the person inside that TV show. So Mark is the real person. Stephen Grant is the fantasy.
So listen.
Don't do it. Don't. I don't want to see it. You know what she did. And you could hear the whip. You heard the whip in the background. Yeah.
A happy, simple. That hated you? That
Still alive.
Dad called me after all these years about her Shiva, and I couldn't.
She drank herself to death. Huh. And now he's back in the doctor's office. So every time he retreats back into there.
Well, you've really gone up in the world, haven't you?
I was beginning.
Flanders. So Mark is the real personality. No sign of the third personality. Why does it upset him, though? So now they're going to try to get her on the phone. Even though she's obviously passed. Wow, that's 34 minutes. That's another fast 10 minutes. This episode has been doing a really good job of like grabbing a hold of you and not letting go with its intensity.
Stephen's here. He'd like to speak with you.
Of course, there's nobody on that phone, right? And to balance the scales, he's going to have to come to terms with his mother's passing. But I'm not sure. So he said it there. And they're at a wake. This is his father. I'm guessing that she drank herself, right? And he... Okay, so that's the memory on the street that he saw of him standing by the car taking a... taking a shot from the flask.
Not giving you that satisfaction.
So it also looks like he's somewhat renounced his faith. He took off his cap there. And his eyes rolled up, so he's switching personalities. And this is when he's become Steven here, right? So the two of them are looking at himself.
She was wrong. It wasn't your fault.
Such a difficult performance because he's got to play both sides of it there. Somebody who's in his absolute worst place, and then he's playing like somebody who's trying to console himself like that. Difficult role, and Oscar Isaac is batting it out of the park for sure. So their scales haven't balanced after that. They should have. Oscar deserves the Oscar, Heartglass Viking says in the live chat. It's been that good. Like, it's been of that caliber. Okay, so now some zombies are climbing up the boat. What other piece do they have to make other than maybe getting rid of the Steven personality, right? And accepting that he's Mark? Is that the last thing that he needs to do, is get rid of Steven? So he's trying to change the direction of the boat to try to help himself fight these other entities. The city people, where he killed people. So now Steven's going to help Mark. And I'm guessing Conchu's going to... Wait, no, Conchu's still locked in... He's locked in wood, right? In that prison? So this is like got to be the climax. We're 41 minutes in. And how's this going to wrap up in one episode then? Because this is not dealing with Harrow in this episode then. Okay, so Steven tackled the one being and fell off into the sands. And if the hippo said if you get lost out there, you'll be lost forever, right? In the sands? You'll be trapped in the sands? Yeah, you're going to get trapped. He's sinking into it. But if he's not real, Mark. Yeah. But he's just a figment of your imagination. That's not real.
Stop the boat!
You don't need to stop it. And yes, just as I thought, the scales balanced. So you had to get rid of Stephen and accept that you're Mark, and this is what you need to do. Hourglass says in the live chat, yeah, there are lots of loose ends for a one-off series. It does feel like that. So, because he's got his wife to deal with, right? Make amends with her, and he's shot. So the boat brought him back. I'm guessing he's going to wake up in the water here from being shot, and he's got that reconciliation that Stephen is gone now, and he can move on. That's it? Okay, so he's not going to wake up in the water. I thought it would have ended with him waking up in the water, but I guess not. It was just a shot of him standing in the field of reeds. Okay, directed by Mohab Diab. That was an intense episode. Like it actually got me a couple times, starting to get the feels because of the performances by Oscar Isaac, and just like the subject matter of he had a brother, and the brother died in that cave that filled up with water, and then his mother didn't deal with that all that well. Wow, that was a good episode. I don't think there's anything after the credits. Let's just see. No. Okay. What did you guys think about that episode? And let's talk a little about how this can all kind of wrap up here. I'm guessing at the start of the next episode, then he'll wake up in the water. His body, because they turned around the boat there, he'll wake up in the water, and then he'll have to go deal with whatever Harrow has done, and then they'll have kind of a showdown. He'll wake up. Somehow they'll have to get Khonshu back to help him fight Harrow, right? That's what's going to happen. And that'll be all in one episode. I wonder if the last episode is 2 hours, that would definitely give you enough time, but that's going to be a jam-packed episode for sure. For a one-off series, Hourglass said, yeah, for a one-off series, that we got some clarity, though. And I think that definitely puts to rest that there isn't a third personality, right? There's not a Jake or whatever, the cab driver. There's nobody like that. It was always Mark that was doing that. I think that puts that to bed. Because if you introduce a third personality there at the end of this episode, then that would just be way too much. So I'm not convinced anymore that there's a third entity inside of him. But that was a good episode. I thought that episode 4 was good. this one, and now this one has become my favorite because of the acting, and the metaphor of like the asylum, you have these rooms that you have all of these things that you've kind of locked in there, this guilt that you got to come to terms with. I like that stuff a lot. I like that imagery. Good episode. Moon Knight, episode 5, The Asylum. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below if you're watching us live in the live chat. It was always fun to talk with you guys. And hope you can join us next week for the final episode, the finale. Hourglass says, it's a really good episode. Great work by Oscar and Ethan, though a subject matter so hopefully loads of good vibrations for the final episode. Yeah, like that traumatic stuff, the abuse that's always a difficult subject matter, but they handled it tastefully. I didn't want to see an episode of I didn't want to actually see it. I like the fact that you saw her take the belt, you saw that she was drinking, and you heard it. That's how you depict something like this. When they get too graphic and show that stuff, that it becomes too off-putting for me. But they handled that well.
And yes, it was a great episode. Join us next week, guys, for the finale of Moon Knight. And I'll try to wrap it up then with my thoughts as how the full series unfolded. Because it started off a little bit shaky, but it's building towards like I'm loving this series, and I'm loving it because of Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke. Can't wait to see them face off in the final episode. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you next week for more Moon Knight.